Good morning. We are about to start in our journey through statistics. So this is for the Introduction to Statistics, Math 1040, and we are using the OpenStax free textbook. So keep in mind if we find any misprints or typos or errors or that kind of stuff, that this is a free textbook and that it's saving you a lot of money and we can deal with a few mistakes. So we're going to start off with Chapter 1. This is the reading guide for Chapter 1. All right, so we're going to start with sampling and data. This is Chapter 1, Section 1. And down here at the bottom is our definition of statistics. So statistics deals with the collection and the analysis, interpretation, and presentation of data. Okay, so we're going to collect the data, analyze it, interpret what it means, and then present it. So the way that this textbook goes through this is that we talk about collecting it first, how we present data, how we analyze, and then based on that, our interpretation. The last half is on the interpretation. Okay? And we're going to be using TI 84 calculators to do the calculations for us. And you'll be able to use your calculators on Snow's Final as well. Okay, there are two main branches of statistics. You have descriptive statistics and inferential statistics. So the first half of our textbook is all about descriptive. It is only what we observe. We're not drawing conclusions yet. It's just saying this is what we see happening. And then when we actually start drawing conclusions, that's inferential. And that's going to be the second half of the course. Okay? And the goal of statistics is not to memorize formulas. Okay? Your calculator is going to be doing that for you. It's to understand your data. And that understanding only comes from you. There's no calculator or program that's going to do that for you. So your biggest goal in this course is to understand what the data means. Okay, now with probability, that's what we use to figure out if there's a correlation between different things or if it can be due just to randomness. So we're going to be using a lot of probability throughout this course. So it's the likelihood of an event occurring. So probability is the chance or likelihood of an event occurring out of the total number of possible outcomes. All right, so now we're on page 7. We're going to talk about these key terms: population, sample, sampling, statistic, parameter, representative sample, variable. We'll start with those ones. Okay. So a population is a collection of person, things, or objects under study. Okay. So it's the group or the people or the objects that we want to get information about. Okay. A sample is a subset or a smaller group taken from that larger population. Okay, so if I'm looking at, I want to have information about all the seniors at Richfield High School, my population would be the seniors at Richfield High School, but I would randomly select or sample a few of the students instead of every single senior. Okay, and that smaller group within the population is called the sample. Okay, sampling is just the method that we use to get that sample. So sampling is the method to get our sample, which is a smaller group inside of the population. Okay. Now, sample data is a statistic. So what we get from the sample is called the statistic. We use the statistic from the sample to estimate the parameter for the population. So the key on this is the statistic goes with the sample, and the parameter goes with the population. They are very similar in what they mean. It's the measurement or the data. It's just whether it deals with the population or the statistic. So if the data deals, if the data deals with the population, then it's a parameter. If the data comes from a sample, it's a statistic. So sample, statistic, population, and parameter. Okay? So P and P S, and S. Okay. All right, now if we move down to that next part, a variable, instead of this being, we denote it with a capital X or a capital Y, this isn't something that changes all of the time. It's not like we're solving it for it in an equation. It's just, it is whatever we are looking for or we're interested in the population. It's what we're trying to figure out or study about the population. So let's say that I'm talking about seniors at RHS and I want to know how many of them are interested in going to college. That interest in going to college is the variable. That's the characteristic that I want to have from my population of the senior class. Okay. Now, variables can be numerical or categorical. Numerical just means with numbers. Categorical means with categories or words. Okay. Now, data are the actual values of the variable. So let's say, like that I have a group that I'm asking about going to college, and there are 85 students who said they're interested in going to college. 85 is the data. Okay, the variable is still what I'm looking for. Are they interested in going to college? Okay, now it can be in words or it can be numbers, right? And we're going to be using means and proportions a lot. So mean is average. They use those words interchangeably. And a proportion is just like a fraction, saying 85 out of the 210 seniors said that they were interested, or whatever it is. Okay. Sometimes we will also include a percent. All right, so now we're going to look at the example 1.1. This is on the bottom of page 7. Determine what key terms refer to in the following study. So those are the parameter, the population, the sample, the statistic, the variable, all those things. That's what we're looking for. When they say key terms, that's what they're referring to. We want to know the average or the mean amount of money first-year college students spend at ABC College on school supplies that do not include books. We randomly survey 100 first-year students at the college. 3 of those students spent $150, $200, and $225 respectively. That just means, respectively just means in order. So the first student spent $150, the second student that they did was $200 and $225. So respectively just means in the same order. All right, so now I want you to take a second. We're looking for what is the population. Our population is first-year college students at ABC College. Okay, that's our population. All first-year college students at ABC College. Okay, now we want to know what our sample is. Our sample is a randomly surveyed 100 of those first-year college students at ABC College. Then our parameter is what we're looking for next. So take a minute. What's the parameter? Okay, the parameter is the data that we're going to be collecting about the population. So the average or the mean amount of money that first-year college students, excluding textbooks, spend at ABC College on school supplies. That's for all first-year college students at College ABC. Okay, now the sample is pretty much exactly the same, but instead of it being for the population, it's only from the sample. So if we look at the parameter deals with the population, so it was all first-year college students. Okay, so the statistic goes with the sample. So the statistic says the average or mean amount of money that first-year college students spend at ABC College on school supplies, excluding books, but it's from the sample, okay? Not the whole population, not all first-year college students, but just from the sample. Okay. Okay, now the variable is what we are actually looking at. We want to know the amount of money that first-year college students spend at ABC College on school supplies, excluding the textbooks. Okay, so that is our variable. That's what we're looking at, the amount of money. The average amount of money that first-year college students spend. Okay, so that's our variable. Now the data are the 150, 200, and the 225. All right, so let's take one more summary on this. This is on page 8. The population is all, that's the key, all first-year students attending ABC College this term. The sample is those 100 students that were sampled. Okay? The parameter is the average amount of money spent, but it's for all the students, all first-year college students at ABC College. Okay? So it's the parameter goes with the population, so it has that all. Now the statistic, it's the same thing as the parameter, except for it's from the sample. The statistic is a measurement from the sample, and the parameter is the measurement from the population. Okay, the variable is the amount of money spent by one first-year student, excluding the textbooks, okay, who attended ABC College. And the data are the dollar amounts. All right, so there's more practice that you can find and examples and try-its in section 1.1, but the key is you need to understand population, parameter, sample and statistic, variable, and data. Snow is going to ask you about those specifically on their midterm, so you need to be able to identify all of those terms.